games are lagging far behind, but I'll get into that again because I want to finish my story about the hacker, right? So I was mentioning with, you can tell in the beginning that someone's hacking. Sorry if it's all over because I have ADD, that's how I am. I was playing good, and then I would notice this dude would just start hitting me for random stuff, and it didn't click with me quite why he was being. I was like, oh, I was thinking maybe he was just reading good, but I would do a jab, and if anyone doesn't know anything, jabs are like usually the fastest things in any fighting game. Even Tekken, they're 9 frames, but they're literally unreactable. Like the reaction time is, what is it, like 50, or is it 20 frames, 22 frames or something like that? That's the, like, developers, see, good example, developers keep in mind what is the average human reaction time. The average developer doesn't keep that in mind. They just make moves so slow that even a baby and a grandma can react to something. But fighting games are like, no, we want, if a move's meant to be reactable, we have to make it slower than this. Everything else, like, we can make it a bit lower or whatever, right? Like, they're very self-conscious. Like, there's actually a lot of studying they do, like, even when it comes to artwork, whatever, but that's the whole point, right? Like, that's how I look at all the, how people spend time, like Red Dead Redemption. Oh, we found out how horse balls work in the snow. That, that attention to detail you see in other games is something superfluous or something in the background, but you're like, oh, that's neat. That neat feature is gameplay in a fighting game. And that's why it's so interesting. And getting back to the jabs, see, this is, again, we're getting into this niche detail that you have to know if you want to be good at high level. I would do a jab, and then he was playing Law, by the way, and then he would do an instant while running 3. For those of you who don't know what that is you have to tap forward 3 times and then press a button. So immediately you can tell this guy's hacking, because it's the same as someone just seeing you around the corner, looking at you in COD, and then shooting right as soon as you pop off. We know that's humanly impossible. No one has that fast of reaction time. No one's gonna react to a move that comes out 9/60ths of a second and responds with a move that's, you have to tap forward 3 times, and the move is slow. Like, that move can only punish something if you are like 3 seconds, like literally a whole 3 seconds. Let's say you press a button and you're recovering in 3 seconds. That's like 3 times 60 is like, what, 180 frames or something. You need that much time for this move to punish. But no, that means that the second I press jab, that means the first frame, he did a move that requires you double tap forward 3 times and then press a button. So it was perfect. Like, it's the perfect window, and it's impossible. He has to read, but you would see him dash forward before I do the jab. And I tested it. I did it again. I'm like, oh, he's hacking. So what I did, like I said, look at that. I was able to recognize, instead of people like, oh, he's just doing this random, most people wouldn't recognize it, but because of the in-depth knowledge that the game has, all fighting games, this is standard, by the way, this is not unique to Tekken, this is a universal thing. So what I did is I applied my common knowledge, like, wait a second, if he's doing that move, I know a weakness it has besides, this. I literally Korean backdash all across the stage. I did the jab again on purpose, and again, now it solidified my point because it's full screen. He does the move, but because he's so far, he lands right in front of me, and I hit him with arc blast and combo with him, and I did it 3 times until he finally gave up, and I saw him take control, and I was like, oh, okay, now he's trying to play the game, and then I just fucked him up, and then he didn't run it back. And let that sink in. Look at how you can actually deal with a hacker in a fighting game, because there's so much depth that you can have all the hacks you want. It's not saving you. It just is not. And that's where fighting games